We're going into the toy box with Soul. So let's get cracking! Hello, all my explorers, and welcome back to Loren's Adventures Out There. And if you're new, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. My name is Loren, and I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything, and I mean everything, in the Disney universe. We talk Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, The Muppets, 20th Century, National Geographic, Disney Plus, ABC, Hulu, and more. So if you like that kind of content, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. Okay, so before we start this video, we wanted again to say that without the labor of writers and actors, we wouldn't have the Disney content like the one that we are doing today, the deep dive into Soul. So we support the 2023 WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. Okay, so today we are continuing our series Inside the Toy Box, which is our look at the films of Pixar Animation Studios in chronological order. We started off with Toy Story, and we will end with the latest film, Elemental. And today we are going to be talking about 2020's Soul. Soul follows pianist Joe Gardner, who accidentally falls into a manhole and ends up in a coma. He has just been offered a big break as a jazz musician and fights to return his soul to his body. Instead of ending up in the great beyond, aka the afterlife, he ends up in the great before, where souls are born and trained. Disguising himself as a famous scientist, he is assigned to train a very reluctant soul named 22. Can he convince her to go back to Earth before his time is up? Pete Docter began pondering the idea of soul in 2016, when he began to ponder how we develop our personalities. He brought the idea to writer Mike Jones. They thought of a plane in which souls are born and given personalities. For the main character, they thought they would make him an African-American jazz musician. Docter worked with co-writer Kemp Powers on fleshing out the character. Powers was on a 12-week contract, but it eventually became extended until he was promoted to co-director, the first African-American co-director in Pixar history. Powers really fleshed out the character of Joe Gardner and the human world and African-American community around him. Pixar created an internal cultural trust made up of black Pixar employees and hired several consultants. These consultants included musicians Herbie Hancock, Terry Lynn Carrington, Quincy Jones, and John Batiste, educator Jonetta Cole, and stars Questlove and Diggs. The idea of Joe getting trapped into the body of a cat and 22 into Joe's body was created by Jones as an opportunity for Joe to gain perspective looking at himself from the outside. Filmmakers were still on the fence about where to go at the end of the last screening. Should Joe go to the great beyond, return to Earth, or become a mentor in the great before? They also had storyboarded 22 ending up on Earth and reuniting with Joe. In August 2019, it was announced that Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey, Questlove, Felicia Rashad, and Daveed Diggs had joined the cast. In March 2020, Angela Bassett joined the cast, and after the first trailer was released, Richard Ayoade, Graham Norton, Rachel House, Alice Braga, Wes Studi, Fortune Feimeister, Zenobia Shroof, Donnell Rawlings, and June Squibb were also announced. Doctor felt that Fox was perfect for the role, being a musician himself. Tina Fey actually contributed to the development of her character, writing lines and gags. Doctor wanted to ensure authenticity of the African American community, especially given the history of racism in animation, including characters and stereotypical features. Pixar sought to show the fine details, including the diversity of hair textures and styles, as well as the color of skin. According to Powers, animators used lighting to emphasize the characters' ethnic features. They also brought on African American cinematographer Bradford Young as a lighting consultant on the film. Doctor also wanted authenticity in musical performance. Animators who worked on particular instruments had experience with them. They studied the performance of different musical performers and used MIDI data to animate fingers being placed on the exact keys as the musicians. For the creation of souls, there were two types in the Great Before: small round cube shapes for the new souls, and mentors were more distinctive characteristics. To avoid them looking like ghosts, they gave them a blue hue. The Jerrys, or soul counselors, originated from the line drawings made by story artist Afton Corbin. Another artist created wire sculptures of them, and the design was finalized. Filmmakers explored jazz clubs and pizza shops as inspirations to give the city life. A barbershop scene received additional input from Powers. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross of Nine Inch Nails composed an ambient score for the segment of The Great Before. They were brought on by sound designer Ren Kleiss, who worked with them on David Fincher films. John Batiste composed a number of original jazz songs for the real world, creating a quote, user-friendly jazz which felt authentic but could be appreciated by a general audience. Soul earned $121 million in other territories. In the United States, it was the first to be placed solely on Disney+. Disney reported that Soul was among the most watched straight-to-streaming titles of the year, behind Hamilton and Wonder Woman 1984. Critically, Soul received a score of 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, with critical consensus stating, quote, "A film as beautiful to contemplate as it is to behold. Soul proves Pixar's power to deliver outstanding all-ages entertainment remains undimmed." At the 93rd Academy Award, Soul received a nomination for Best Sound and won Best Animated Feature and Best Original Score. The film's other nominations included 10 Annie Awards, winning 7, 3 British Academy Film Awards, winning 2, a Critics' Choice Movie Award, which it won, and 2 Golden Globe Awards, winning both. It was named one of the 10 best films of 2020 by the National Board of Review, where it also won Best Animated Film, and the American Film Institute. So, what did I think of Soul? Honestly, I still don't know what I think of Soul. I want to love it. I want to love it. But there's something that is just disconnects for me for some reason. I don't know. I actually tend to like, which is funny, I tend to like the parts where they are in the human world. I mean, I just think that the attention to detail and the representation of the African American community is just beautiful. You really get a sense of all the people being so different, yet being in this community, and I just love it. Like, that's the part I love. But the part where they get into the metaphysical areas, I don't know. I don't love it. I want to love it. It's kind of got that Inside Out feel, and Pete Docter did Inside Out. And but this is one of the Pete Docter films that I'm up on the fence about, and I don't know why. I've watched it several times, and I do like it more than the first time I saw it. So that is a plus. But outside of that, I'm still not like an Uber fan. Anyway, did you watch Soul? If you did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed yourself today, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. Visit us on all of our socials down below. Visit our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you later. Bye!